Hello, Alex. Have you ever traveled somewhere and found yourself completely lost? I mean, not just in the city, but also in the language.
Oh, definitely. There were so many moments when I didn't know how to ask for directions or how to order food at a restaurant. It's stressful.
Exactly. Traveling can be so much fun, but it can also be overwhelming, especially when you're in a foreign country. That's why today we're going to focus on some super helpful English phrases you can use when traveling. Trust me, with these phrases, you'll feel much more confident.
That sounds great. Let's dive in, because everyone can use a little extra help when traveling, right?
All right, let's start with one of the most important things you'll need to do when you're traveling asking for directions. So, Alex, imagine you're in a new city and you need to ask for directions. What would you say?
Well, I guess I'd start with, "Excuse me, can you help me?" But I'm not really sure what to say next.
Good start. You can definitely begin with, "Excuse me, could you please help me?" or, "Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the station?" That's a polite and clear way to ask for directions.
Okay, but let's say I'm looking for something specific, like the nearest subway station. How would I ask that?
Great question, you could say. "Excuse me, could you please tell me how to get to the nearest subway station?" Or if you need help with something even more specific, like a park, you can say, "I'm looking for Dollywood Park. Could you help me find it?"
Ah, that's much better. And what if I'm really lost and I don't understand the directions they're giving me?
If you're not sure you understood, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. You can say, "I'm sorry, could you explain that again?" Or "Could you give me the directions more slowly?" That way, you'll make sure you get the right information.
Perfect. So, it's important to be polite, but also to ask if you need something repeated. I feel a lot more prepared now.
Exactly. And remember, asking for directions is just the first step to feeling more confident when traveling. So, next time you're in a new city, you'll know exactly what to say. All right, now let's move on to a very important situation when you're traveling booking a hotel room. This is something that everyone needs to do when they travel, and it's crucial to feel confident when talking to hotel staff. So, Alex, imagine you arrive at a hotel reception and need to ask about available rooms. What would you say?
Well, I guess I'd say something like, "Do you have any rooms available?" That seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yes, exactly. That's a good start. But you can make it sound a little more polite and specific. Instead of just asking, "Do you have any rooms available?" you could say, "Excuse me, do you have any rooms available for tonight?" By starting with, "Excuse me," you make sure you're being polite and respectful.
Ah, I see. So, it's all about being polite. But what happens after that? What if they have rooms available? How do I move forward?
Great question. Once they confirm availability, the next step is to ask for the details about the room. You should confirm the type of room, the amenities included, and, of course, the price. For instance, you can ask, "How much is the room for one night?" Or, "Could you tell me the price for a single room?"
Okay, so it's important to make sure I understand the price before I agree to anything.
Exactly. You want to make sure you're clear on everything before booking the room. Don't forget to ask if there are any extra fees. Some hotels may add taxes, resort fees, or extra charges for services. You can ask, "Are taxes included in the price?" Or, "Is breakfast included with the room?" This helps avoid any surprises when you check out.
Good to know. So far, I've got, "Excuse me, do you have any rooms available for tonight?" And asking about the price and any extra fees. What if I want to request something specific, like a certain type of bed or a special room preference?
Perfect. If you need something specific, it's easy to make a request. You could simply say, "Could I get a single bed, please?" Or, "Can I have a room with a king-sized bed?" If you have preferences for things like a non-smoking room, or a room on a higher floor, you can ask directly. For example, could I have a non-smoking room, please? Or do you have any rooms with a nice view?
Ah, so it's not just about asking for a room, but about making sure it fits my needs. What if the hotel doesn't have the exact room I want?
If the hotel doesn't have the specific room you're looking for, don't panic. You can still ask if they have any other available rooms, or even inquire about availability at nearby hotels. For example, you could say, do you have any other rooms with a single bed available? Or can you recommend another hotel nearby? It's always good to keep options open.
That's really helpful. But what if I'm just looking for a short stay, like one night? Can I ask if they offer daily rates instead of the standard overnight rate?
Absolutely. If you're only staying for one night, you can ask if they offer daily rates. It's important to ask about that if you're on a short trip. You can say, do you offer daily rates? Or can I book just for one night instead of a full stay? Some hotels might offer discounts for short stays, so it's worth asking.
Got it. I'll make sure to ask about the daily rate if I'm just staying for one night. But what if I need to cancel my reservation? How do I ask about the cancellation policy?
Great question. Alex cancellation policies can vary, so it's always best to ask about them up front. You can say, what is the cancellation policy for this booking? Or if I need to cancel, is there a fee? This will help you understand if there are any penalties for changing or canceling your reservation.
Ah, that's really useful to know. You definitely don't want to end up paying extra fees if plans change.
Exactly. And keep in mind that some hotels might offer free cancellation up to a certain date, while others might charge a fee. It's always good to have that information in case your travel plans change unexpectedly.
All right, I feel a lot more confident now. I know how to ask about room availability, the price, extra fees, special requests, and even cancellation policies.
That's the spirit. Alex, you're now ready to handle the hotel check-in process like a pro. Booking a hotel room might feel intimidating at first, but with these simple phrases and questions, you'll be able to communicate clearly and comfortably. And remember, if they don't have a room available, don't hesitate to ask for alternatives. There's always a solution.
Thanks. Sarah, I really appreciate all this advice. I feel a lot more confident about my next trip. I'll definitely be able to navigate the hotel booking process without any trouble.
You're welcome, Alex. I'm sure you'll do great. And for anyone watching, remember, it's always good to ask questions and confirm all the details when booking a room. This way, you can avoid surprises and have a more relaxing stay. Enjoy your travels.
Thanks again, Sarah. I can't wait for my next trip. And for everyone watching, I hope this helps you too. Make sure to use these tips next time you're booking your hotel room. It will make your travel experience much easier.
Key phrases and tips. 1. Asking for availability. Excuse me, do you have any rooms available for tonight? Do you have any rooms available for date? 2. Confirming the price. How much is the room for one night? Can you tell me the price for a single double room? 3. Inquiring about extra fees. Are taxes included in the price? Is breakfast included with the room? 4. Making specific requests. Could I get a single bed, please? Can I have a room with a king-sized bed? Could I have a non-smoking room? 5. Asking about cancellation policies. What is the cancellation policy for this booking? If I need to cancel, is there a fee? All right, now let's move on to something that a lot of travelers find tricky when they're abroad: ordering food at a restaurant. Imagine you're at a restaurant in a foreign country, and you have the menu in front of you. How do you start?
Honestly, the hardest part is figuring out what to say without sounding awkward. I've definitely been in situations where I had no idea what to order.
I know exactly what you mean. Alex, it can be tricky when you're trying to figure out what's on the menu, especially if you don't understand the language. But the key is to keep it simple and ask for help when needed. Let's start with the basics. You walk in, sit down, and the waiter comes to take your order. What do you say?
Well, I guess I'd just say, I'd like to order something. But that feels kind of vague.
Exactly. It's good to be a little more specific. You could say, "Excuse me, could I please see the menu if you don't have one already?" And once you're ready to order, it's best to say, "I'll have name of the dish, please." For example, "I'll have the grilled chicken with vegetables, please."
Okay, so it's like saying exactly what I want. But what if I want to ask the waiter for a recommendation? Sometimes I'm not sure what to pick.
Great question. If you're unsure, you can always ask the waiter for a suggestion. For example, "Can you recommend something from the menu?" Or "What's your specialty?" It's a polite way to ask for their advice.
Got it. So, let's say I pick something, but I want to make a few changes. Maybe I don't want onions in my dish, or I want my steak cooked a certain way. How do I make special requests?
Good question. Alex, when making special requests, it's important to be polite and clear. For example, you can say, "Could I have the dish without onions, please?" Or, "Can you make my steak medium rare, please?" If you're particular about any part of your meal, just ask for it directly.
Perfect. I guess I can just say exactly what I want, and they'll be happy to accommodate. But what if I don't understand something on the menu?
That happens a lot, especially in foreign countries. If you don't understand something on the menu, you can always ask the waiter. You could say, "I'm sorry, what is dish name?" Or, "Can you describe this dish for me?" Most waiters will be happy to explain the ingredients or what the dish consists of.
That's a relief. I always feel unsure when I see a dish name I don't recognize. And how do I know if the dish is spicy or not? Some countries have really spicy food.
Spicy food can definitely be a challenge. To ask about the spiciness of a dish, you can say, "Is this dish spicy?" Or, "How spicy is this dish?" If you're worried about it being too spicy, you can always ask, "Could you make it less spicy, please?"
Great. So, now I know how to ask for a recommendation, make special requests, and even inquire about spiciness. But what happens if I'm done eating and I want the check?
Ah, the final part, asking for the check. Once you've finished your meal and are ready to pay, you can simply say, "Could I have the check, please?" Or, "Could I get the bill, please?" It's always polite to ask like that.
Perfect. And how about tipping? Do I need to give a tip at the restaurant?
Great question. Tipping practices can vary depending on where you are. In many countries, tips are included in the bill, but in others, you may need to leave a tip separately. If you're unsure, you can ask, "Is a tip included in the bill?" If it's not included, a typical tip is around 10 to 15% of the total bill.
Ah, okay. So, I should always check the bill first and then decide how much to tip.
Exactly. And if the service was really good, don't hesitate to leave a generous tip. It's always appreciated by the staff.
All right, Sarah, I feel ready for my next restaurant experience. With these phrases, I won't feel lost or uncomfortable ordering anymore.
I'm glad to hear that. Alex, just remember to be polite, clear, and ask for help when you need it. And don't forget to enjoy the food. That's the most important part of the experience. Key phrases and tips. 1. Asking for the menu. "Excuse me, could I please see the menu?" "Can I get the menu, please?" 2. Ordering a dish. "I'll have name of the dish, please. Can I have the grilled chicken with vegetables, please?" 3. Say, asking for recommendations. "Can you recommend something from the menu? What's your specialty?" 4. Making special requests. "Could I have the dish without onions, please? Can you make my steak medium rare, please?" 5. Asking about a dish. "What is dish name? Can you describe this dish for me?" 6. Inquiring about spiciness. Is this dish spicy? How spicy is this dish? Could you make it less spicy? Please. 7. Asking for the check. Could I have the check, please? Could I get the bill, please? 8. Tipping. Is a tip included in the bill? How much should I tip? Bonus tips for dining out. Be patient. If you're at a busy restaurant, the waiters might be a bit rushed. Don't hesitate to politely get their attention if needed. Practice listening. Waiters might give you a description of the dishes in English, so practice listening for keywords like spicy, grilled, or vegetarian. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're unsure about a dish, ingredients, or the price, it's always okay to ask. They're there to help you. That's it for today's episode. I hope this helps you feel more confident when dining out during your travels. Remember, asking questions and being polite are the keys to having a great restaurant experience. Next time you're traveling, you'll be able to confidently order food and enjoy your meals without stress.
Thanks so much. Sarah, these tips are going to make my travel experiences a lot easier. I can't wait to try them out.
You're welcome, Alex. I'm sure you'll do great. And for everyone watching, keep practicing these phrases, and soon you'll feel like a local wherever you go. Bon appetit and happy travels.